Hi guys, today we're looking at a couple of eye products from 17. If you've not seen it, we've already got a video on the foundation primer. But today we're having a look at one of the 9-pan eyeshadow palettes in the shade Greens, very creative. One of the Multi-Light Precision Highlight Pencils in the shade Icy Beige. And one of the Single Shadow Pops in the shade Ivory Dreams. So, price-wise, incredibly affordable. I think this is an everything under £5 type range. So the eyeshadow palette, £5, the highlight pencil, £4, and the individual shadow is £2. So 9 shadows of 0.8 grams in this one. This guy is 3.5 grams, and the pencil... Do we have a weight on the pencil? I can't see a weight on the pencil. Almost doesn't matter because most of it would end up, not most of it, but a chunk of it ends up wasted when you sharpen it. So this one is marked as vegan, hey, they're all vegan. So yeah, so very affordable range. This is clearly a attempt at duping the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette. So I'm going to do my application and wear test. Oh, I will do some swatches at the end of the day. But at the moment I'm going to go and watch Flynn. Walk Flynn. So we've got an application section so you can see how we got to this look, see how it went. And I'll be back throughout the day to show how it is holding up. Right, here we go. So I've actually primed with the NYX Ultimate Primer. I have got the 17 eye primer. I just want to test it separately to the eyeshadows so that if there is any kind of breakdown or creasing or wear, I know that it is the eyeshadow rather than the primer, because this guy I've been using for a while and is good. So, first one we're going to have a look at is one of the single shadows. This is the shade Ivory Dream. I'm hoping this will work in the place of my Kiko shadow that I use over my brow bone. It does look a little bit paler, a lot more white than cream. Although, yeah, there we go, that's the right light where you can see it. So I've got that one over in case I need to mix it in case it's just too pale. Yeah. Okay, so it may actually work okay because it's not picking up a lot of product. There we go. So it's a firmly pressed. What? Did I have texture on my eye? I don't remember having texture on my eye. Strange. Okay, not holding that against it because that looks like my skin. Didn't feel it when I was putting the primer on, but there we go. And the other side. So yeah, definitely paler than my Kiko one, but because it's quite firmly pressed and I can't pick up so much of it, might be okay. It looks really stark white on camera, but honestly in real life it's not too drastic. Plus by the time I get all my crease shadow and stuff in, I don't think we're going to see too much of it and it'll be fine. So, this guy. What I will say is we've got a grand total of 3 matte shades in this palette, and we've got this guy, and this guy. So the matte shades are not they're not the darkest shades. So it's a bit of a bummer because I really want to play with this guy, but I'm not going to be able to get a dark enough crease colour, I don't think. But we'll see what we can build up to. So taking the little plastic thing out before it gets annoying. I'm going to start with a big fluffy brush. This is a 201 from Beauty Bay. And we're going to go into that minty green one. So as you can see, this doesn't have a mirror, so I'm going to be juggling backwards and forwards between that palette and my mirror. Da, da, da. So let's see how this pigment goes. Let's try again. Okay. Like it's definitely there. It's definitely on there. I'm not pretending. Okay, this is really disappointing actually. And as well as the fact that it's not really transferring, there's quite a lot of kickback and dust going on. Like, yeah. So I think you would have to use a lot of this to build up the colour, and then you'll probably lose a lot in kickback. And it's on the shadow next to it already. Right. This is crazy. I mean, from what is managing to transfer, it would be such a pretty shade. It just needs to, you know, exist. Okay, so we're going to go into the other matte green, the darker one. I'm just going in with the same fluffy brush because honestly, this might end up just being my transition shade if it transfers like the last one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's the darkest matte green that's in this palette. I mean, it's a pretty shade. It's a pretty shade. It's just not what I was expecting for reminders. This is the shade. Yeah. I was expecting the first one to be a sort of transition shade, this one to be a sort of more punchy crease colour. So that's just the format I expect with palettes. But no, this is now my transition shade. Okay. I mean, the other matte is a brown. It might build up to something. Let's give it a shot. Just get an angled crease brush. I mean, it looks shadowy. Right, okay, let's try this guy. Definitely the darkest shade, even if it has got a bit of shimmer to it. It's not like glittery, 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 so let's see if this is going to be the strong shade that saves this palette. Okay, where's my little tiny crease brush? Let's see if I can use this guy and try and pack this on a bit more. So there's definitely colour there. I think. This is gonna take ages. Okay, though, we've got a dark colour transferring. That's all we were hoping for. But does it look like we've used 4 different shades on our eyes? No, it does not. I am building up so much onto this brush. Oh man. Just try to get the shape even now. I would normally go a bit further out with my dark shade, but I honestly don't know if I can be bothered with how long this is taking to build up. Or build out, whichever way you want to phrase it. Let's get my bigger angled crease brush again. Load that up as much as I can. Do, 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 do. Okay. You know the worst part? See this big angled crease brush? As I'm using it, I'm realising it's still a tiny bit damp from being cleaned, and it's still not getting huge amounts of colour transfer. Yay! That's about as good as we're getting it, I swear. Right, okay. Is there any point in trying a brush for this shadow? Why not? I'm going to go in with the middle shade. It is the most appealing to me. I mean, I think this one is probably going to work best, but I want to see what this one does. Okay, so shimmers they can do. Maybe it's just their matte formula that's weak. Because this actually looks alright. Yay! I'm happy with that one. I still feel like I'm going into the pan quite a lot to pick up colour. But the colour is showing on my eyes. Okay, so fallout wise, yeah, we had to spend quite a lot of time building this up, so there's now a lot of fallout. In fact, don't know if that picked up there, but that was a lot of dust. So I would say that, yeah, it kind of looks, this one looks okay, but the other colours I had to try and build up, they look quite, they don't look like they've only been used once, okay? Let's just put it that way. I mean, this glittery guy, the light one, that's pretty. Okay, I'm glad my urges to touch shiny things kicked in. because that has made this a completely different level of eye look. Yay! Something happy! Something happy out of this palette. Right, I'm going to go and do the rest of my base makeup after removing the tons of fallout, but if anyone wants to timestamp for, oh god, I've got too many things. It's 11:15. Yes, I'm a bit late, sorry. But I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup and we will see how this goes throughout the day. Alright, I'm back. I forgot there was one other product that I wanted to use. This is the Multi-Light Precision Highlight Pencil. I had to go for the lightest shade, which I cannot remember the name of. Icy Beige. It just looks white to me. So anyway, we're just going to do a bit of an inner corner highlight with this. I don't think I want it under my brow bone. Oh. Okay. Okay, it's just kind of picking up and messing up my foundation. Let's try putting some on my ooh. That consistency is interesting. Okay, so using it on my finger seems to be nicer, but kind of makes it being in a pencil a bit redundant. Maybe they should have poured it into one of these wee compacts. If put it as like a highlight balm or something. Cream highlight. Would also be less product wasted because obviously every time you sharpen this, you're losing some product. I mean, it's pretty. It's, for me, subtle. I need to touch up my foundation now, which is annoying. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to have this final timestamp, try that. It's 20 to 12, so we'll be back with any developments. Right, so we're back. It is almost 10 to 11, so we've had this on for a reasonable amount of time. It was a sunny day. I had sunglasses on. When I zoom in, you'll really see these lines here from where the frames rested against my face. But I had very little to report about this. The inner corner highlight has faded quite a bit, but it is still there. I think a lot of the fading was I got a bit itchy in there, which is why this has slightly more left than this one. It was quite subtle to begin with, so, you know, it's fine. It just depends what your personal taste is for highlighter. I like something really quite bling on the inner corner. Maybe because I'm fair, I need something to stand out a little bit more. So to me, this is a kind of not that fussed. It's affordable. If you like your highlighter in a pencil form, go for it. But I do recommend patting it in with your finger rather than try to draw it on with the pencil, because we saw how it kind of lifted up my foundation. The single shadows, again, also kind of it worked, but it took a little bit to get the payoff. If I assume that the formulas are the same as the palette, the shimmer ones of these might be slightly better, slightly more colour payoff. And you know, if you were looking at these and trying to choose between a shimmer and a matte, you're probably going to have better luck with the shimmer. But for the price, not too shabby. The eyeshadow palette, which, let's face it, is the main guy in this video. Let's zoom in and you'll see my sunglass marks. See? Are we seeing this? Yeah. Okay, so I've also got stray eyebrow hairs tucked back in there. So this has stayed. This looks pretty much like it did this morning. I'd say the shimmer has softened down a little bit for the really lighter inner corner one, but everything else looks like it did when I put it on, which is pretty darn cool. The bit that I think a lot of people might be waiting on, I say a lot of people, you know, however many people are watching this video, is the comparison. So the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsession, I believe, is discontinued, and also ever so slightly more expensive than this £5 guy. I think these were £27. I will check. Okay, so it was £25 on Cult Beauty. I think there's still a couple of websites, maybe got them in stock. Amazon has them in stock, whether they're real or not. Yeah, anyway, need to see if this is a dupe. Now that we know that it lasts, it's worth checking. So I'm going to do some swatches. I did want to say this little top corner one, I feel like the really chunky glitter was a bit of a kind of overspray, and then underneath it's a bit, you know, a bit more creamy. I'm going to do some swatches down my arm, so I don't know why I started in my hand. So I also don't know why I closed the palette, guys. Can you tell it's my bedtime? Okay, so I have got micellar water and cotton pads, so I'll be cleaning and drying my fingers in between. Yeah. So we'll start with that light one in the top corner. This is the 17 version. And then different finger. That's the Huda version. So they're not very similar, but the 17 one's prettier. It's got a bit more green to it. It's more foiled looking. Okay, that's unexpected. It is a softer texture, so you might go through it faster. It's also a fifth of the price. So cleaning off those fingers. I'm just going to clean the back of my hand as well before I make a mess. Okay, and then giving those fingers a chance to dry, we're going to use on to the ring finger. So again, going into the 17 palette with that soft matte. This was quite disappointing using it on my eye. Yeah, so it's quite chalky and not the most pigmented. Then the Huda version. Oh man, I hate trying to swatch with my pinky, but anyway. Colour wise, I would say we are pretty darn close. Again, is the 17 one actually better? That's unexpected. Okay. Clean those fingers so that they can dry. The reason I'm making a fuss about them drying, by the way, is so that they're not wet on the shadows, which will change the pigment, possibly wet the shadows because micellar water is oily. So then we've got the third one in the top row. This is the 17 version. It's going to take ages. Okay, Huda, absolute clear winner. No doubts about it for that guy. Then we've got the dark one in the left of the middle row, which I'd used in the crease today. 17 version. Huda version. Possibly slightly more shimmer in the 17 one, but not much in it. I would say that one, again, pretty strong dupe. Then the middle shade, which I have to say is my absolute favourite in the Huda palette, and I don't think they've got it right. So that's the 17 one. And that's the Huda one. So the Huda one's a tiny bit brighter, just more shimmery, more magical. Pretty close though, and definitely price difference wise, and the fact that it's still available makes it pretty darn good. So then we've got the darker matte green. So 17. And Huda. Hang on. Is the 17 one better again? Huh, I hadn't used the Emerald palette much. We're going to have to switch to my other arm because I've run out of arm. So we've got the matte brown. This is a very cool toned brown. I think I could almost consider using that as a contour shade for my face. But that's a really close dupe again. Cool. Then we'll get the dark shimmery brown, which is in the middle of the bottom row. So it's kind of like a khaki brown, like there's a bit of green to it. I know I'm not going straight. Okay, yeah, that one, the Huda one, is clearly nicer. Last but not least, we've got the gold. It's a 17 one. And the Huda one. So the Huda one, was my finger dirty? I'm sure my finger wasn't dirty. It looks like it's got a greenish cast to it, which is cool and fits in with the palette, but I didn't expect that from what I saw in the pan. Was my pan dirty? No, it's got a little bit of a fleck to it. Okay. I kind of want to give this one a second chance. Okay, yeah, it definitely builds up to look like it. So let's try and get all of my arms in the screen. Yeah, got a collection. So I would say, looking at these, bearing in mind that it's 17 Huda, 17 Huda, so we've got 17's nicer, pretty equal, Huda's nicer, 17's nicer. It's really close, isn't it? 17 actually looks nicer. They're close, and okay, Huda's nicer. All in all, I'm going to say this is a really, really close dupe. So if you were looking at the Huda one and you were liking it, but it was out of your price range, or you know it's in your price range but it's not available now, this might be something to have a look for. I'm trying to keep these swatches in camera as long as possible. I want to give this one another swatch. This guy. Yeah, if I put a bit more pressure on that, it's so close colour wise. This is, honestly, this is quite insane. Okay, I'm going to say that if these were swatched in two separate places, I'm not confident I could tell you which one was which makes this pretty darn good dupe. I don't know the weight of the Emerald palette. It's got, oh no, 9 times 1.1 grams. So you're getting a tiny bit more product, and about somewhere between 30% more product in this than in this, but this is 20% of the price and still available if you're in the UK. So yeah, this is actually surprisingly firmly in the good buy category. I don't know how often I'll reach for the colours again, but some of these are so pretty. Yeah, this guy. So if you've got any questions, leave them down below. I will get back to you. These two, less impressed, just not as interested. But this palette, definitely will be keeping an eye out for if they expand their range. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!